As the 2025-26 NBA season powers toward its midpoint, one storyline is gaining more and more momentum with every passing game. The Oklahoma City Thunder have become an absolute defensive nightmare for opposing offenses. And at the heart of that transformation are two young stars, Cason Wallace and Chet Holmgren, who have turned the DPOY race into a Thunder versus Thunder battle. While both players continue to surge, it's Wallace who remains slightly ahead in the race for the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year, holding a razor-thin lead over Holmgren as OKC suffocates teams night after night. Cason Wallace was never supposed to break into superstardom this quickly. Coming out of Kentucky, he was praised for his defensive instincts, toughness, and discipline, but few expected him to become this dominant. This season, everything has clicked: his timing, his anticipation, his ability to switch across multiple positions, and his uncanny knack for disrupting plays before they even develop. Wallace isn't just guarding players, he's dictating where they can and cannot move on the floor. He leads the league in deflections, sits near the top in steals, and has become one of the most feared point-of-attack defenders in recent memory. Stars who normally command the floor find themselves trapped, suffocated, and frustrated when Wallace locks in. And with OKC's fast-paced switch-heavy scheme, he has become the engine that keeps their defense running at elite levels. But the story doesn't end with Wallace, not even close. Chet Holmgren, the player many expected to be OKC's defensive anchor for the next decade, is still very much in the chase and surging rapidly. Holmgren's shot blocking has reached another level in his third NBA season. The timing, the mobility, the length, everything is finally coming together. He closes space at a speed number 7-footer should logically be capable of. Guards think they have a clean look, and suddenly Holmgren is there from out of nowhere. Chet sits among the league's leaders in blocks, contests nearly everything in his vicinity, and has shown improved strength that allows him to bang with bigger centers inside. What makes him unique is that he can still switch to the perimeter and hold his own against guards, giving Oklahoma City a defensive weapon most teams could only dream of having. Put Wallace and Holmgren together, and you have the best defensive duo in the NBA, hands down. When they're both on the court, teams look lost. The Thunder force turnovers at elite rates, hold opponents to some of the lowest shooting percentages in the league, and make every possession feel like a puzzle that no one can solve. But what's pushing Wallace slightly ahead in the DPOY race is the sheer versatility of his defensive impact. He doesn't just excel in steals or pressure, he dictates tempo, disrupts offensive schemes, and completely takes star guards out of their rhythm. Coaches around the league have repeatedly praised his ability to erase primary ball handlers, something that is incredibly hard to do in today's spacing-heavy NBA. Meanwhile, Holmgren is undeniably elite, but his role is more traditional as the rim protector and backline communicator. Still, the competition between the two is closer than ever. Holmgren's recent performances, highlighted by several multi-block games and dominant defensive stretches, have closed the gap significantly. Analysts have begun debating whether Chet's combination of rim protection and mobility might ultimately give him an edge later in the season. But for now, Wallace's total impact, on-ball dominance, toughness, timing, and leadership keeps him in the lead. And it's not just the individual brilliance that makes this so compelling. The Thunder as a whole have embraced defense as their identity. Head coach Mark Daigneault has built a culture where effort, communication, and switching are non-negotiable. The system has elevated every player on the roster, from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's veteran patience to Jalen Williams' positional versatility. But the backbone remains Wallace and Holmgren. On December 5th, the Thunder delivered another defensive masterpiece, adding even more fuel to the DPOY narrative. Their rotations were crisp. Their closeouts were suffocating. Their communication was seamless. They shut down paint touches, forced teams into bad shots, and created transition opportunities that broke the game open. The message was clear: Oklahoma City is here to dominate both sides of the ball, and their defense is the engine driving their rise in the Western Conference hierarchy. For Wallace, every game is an opportunity to strengthen his case. He has quickly become one of the most respected young defenders in the league, and his basketball IQ continues to shine. Whether he's picking pockets in late-game situations, jumping passing lanes at the perfect time, or bodying up star scorers on switches, Wallace plays with maturity far beyond his years. Holmgren, meanwhile, brings the intimidation factor. Players think twice before driving into the paint. His presence changes game plans. His rotations shut down backdoor cuts. His weak side help leads to highlight reel blocks that electrify the arena. At any moment, he can completely flip the momentum of a game. The Thunder know they're witnessing something special. Their fans know it too. Watching two young stars compete for the same elite award on the same team is something the league rarely sees. It speaks to OKC's brilliant roster construction, their commitment to player development, and the culture they've built since the post-Westbrook rebuild began. If Wallace wins the Defensive Player of the Year award, he'll become one of the youngest guards in NBA history to ever receive the honor. That alone would be an incredible milestone. If Holmgren wins it instead, he'll join the lineage of great rim-protecting big men whose dominance shaped generations of basketball. No matter who comes out on top, one thing is certain. The Oklahoma City Thunder have built a defense that strikes fear across the league, and their two defensive cornerstones are leading the way. As the season rolls on, the race will only intensify. Wallace's consistency will be tested. Holmgren's upward climb will continue. Every game, every possession, every defensive stand will matter. But for now, at this moment, it's Cason Wallace who stands just a step ahead, with Chet Holmgren closing in fast, as the Thunder keep locking teams down with a defensive identity that could carry them deep into the playoffs.